I'm a Rod Marr, Nikon ambassador, sports photographer. Being a sports photographer, competition is everything. Winning is everything. And as you just saw, I just won. This is Joe McNally, Nikon ambassador. They created Nikon ambassador because they couldn't think of a way to honor you high enough.
It's a mutual admiration society, Ron. We are Nikon ambassadors, and it's an important thing to do. It's a gathering of excellence. And I'm just so humbled and honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be here with you. How did it start for you?
I wasn't good at anything else, Joe. I wasn't. I'm an Asian American kid. My parents wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I think by third grade, they were like, yeah, that's not happening for you, son, right? And we're seated, and you can't really tell, but I'm not the 6'6" of Ron McGill, right? And I can't dribble with my left hand. The only thing I can dunk is a donut, right? So going through college, kind of weaving my way around, and some friends of our family were sports photographers. And they were like, why don't you come to a game with us? And it was just like in the movies, Joe. I swear, I think it's a picture of a player making a layup in the warm-up line. I mean, it is the most basic picture, but it was filmed, and then you put the paper in the pan and you see it develop, and I was done, right? It's like in the movies when the guy sees the beautiful girl, he's just done. Like, I saw a picture develop, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
I love sports, played a little bit in high school, but I was never going anywhere. And so I thought, well, I'll go to journalism school. And I always enjoyed writing. I wrote for my high school newspaper, and I thought, well, maybe I could become a sports writer. And that way I could have a touch with that world that I really enjoy. And as a student in that wing of the school, you were required to take a photography class. And as soon as I picked up a camera, I never looked back. I just never looked back. I don't know if you can feel that intuitive pull of the camera, but I thought two things. I picked up the camera and said, I can really work this. And then I thought, this will keep me out of an office.
I think for me, it's longevity in a career, still being able to do this, right? Joey Terrell, a fellow ambassador of ours, talks a lot about he still wakes up some morning, he's thinking, is this the morning someone calls me and says, it's been a good run, but we discovered you're actually not very good at this, right? And I think that creeps in for a lot of us. And there are those moments where you get that break, and they say, when opportunity knocks, right? Answer the door, right? Or kick it open. My moment was in college. My professor was going on a sabbatical. So the final was the very last day. And I was admittedly not the best student. So I stayed up all night cramming. I sleep through my final. I go running out of my counselor's office. I've run across campus, and she's looking at me like she always looked at me, right? Like, again, Rod, again. And I was like, I slept through my final. I need you to help me drop this class. And she goes, I will let you drop this class. I can't find anyone to take this internship. It's a copywriting internship, but I think you'd really like it. I was like, I'm in, right? So I start shooting, and my career, I meet photographers at Seattle Times. They mentor me. I get the internship. I get the job. I'm moving on my way.
Any photographer who's had a successful career, who doesn't own up and say luck played a significant role, is lying to you. And one of the things one of my early mentors said to me, he said, if you're going to do this, you have to make uncertainty your friend, because there's just no guarantee this is all going to work out.
I was really, really lucky to grow up in the days where Life magazine and Sports Illustrated were coming to my mailbox, and I would devour them. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm looking at how did they do that? You hear about chefs deconstructing food, right? I was deconstructing photographs. I've had many mentors. Harley Soltis is a photographer who was a great newspaper photographer, one of the smartest people I've ever met. The most important lesson he taught me as my mentor, he said, every photograph you take has to tell a story. Even in sports, he goes, do not bring back a picture for tomorrow's paper that is just a random action picture. The writers have 30 inches of type, and they get quotes with which to tell the story. You get a thousandth of a second. Tell the story in a thousandth of a second. So that's the greatest piece of advice I've ever gotten.
I was really blessed, as you have been, to run into a whole array of powerful mentors. But one of them, in particular, was the assistant picture editor of Life magazine, Mel Scott. John Lullegard was a DOP, and I took classes with him, and he was the first one to assign me at Life. They did a wonderful good cop, bad cop thing. And John was the bad cop because he was abrupt, and he was accurate, and he was brutal in his assessment of your efforts. And when he would send you out on a story, he would fill your head with all sorts of like really weird possibilities that you would spin out of John's office with your head just like in your hands, like trying to talk to yourself, and Mel would look at you and go, and he would close the door and he would look at you and say, now I want you, he had this really great breathy Texas accent. He goes, I want you to put all that crap out of your head, you know, and just go make a picture. And then his last words to you were oftentimes, he would look at you and goes, Joe, surprise me. That's very powerful advice when you go out there in the world with a camera in your hands, right? Surprise me. And a mandate. He was a tremendous professor. And when you cross over with a good mentor or teacher, that is one of the most powerful things your life can encounter.
Right. And then also get the safe photo, right? Get the one in the bank, right? We put that one in our pocket. So we go on assignment and you get the safe photo. And then you're like, okay, now it's going to get real and it's going to get fun and it's probably going to get a little bit crazy, right? Getting that mentorship, getting the advice, get the safe picture. Now where are you going to go next?
Yeah.
Right. And I think bringing that back a little bit to being a Nikon ambassador, right? The mentorship, the education part, the inspiring part, what a Nikon person once called embassing, right? Yeah, if you're a Nikon ambassador, you need to embass, right? This is not just some sort of decorative thing you put on your resume. It's about embassing. And I think no one sets the bar for being willing to share knowledge and not gatekeep that knowledge. Like, you've got a blog and you still continue your blog. If anyone wants to learn from Joe McNally, they can take a workshop and travel with you and you know, but you also have all these various mediums and outlets, and some of them are just pay attention and you're going to learn stuff.
This is a pass it on business. You know, there have been photographers I've met who keep secrets, like you were saying, gatekeep, you know, they're not worth the time of day. There are no secrets to this business. You know, you receive some luck, you work hard, you hang in there, you're tenacious, you are durable, you go after it and go after it. You know, how many times have you heard the word no in your career?
All the time.
All the time.
Right.
And that's can be very debilitating, you know, and we drill through that because we are so passionate about it. And so that experience has to be transferred. It's only valuable if you give it away.
Right.
You know,
say that again. That's so wise.
you know,
It's only valuable if we give it away.
exactly. Because those are folks who might listen to it and carry on. I mean, some of the younger ambassadors, and that's going to have to continue as a tradition. Photography, you know, again, one of my heroes, Carl Mydans, has always said that the camera is the most important force for social change in history. And I firmly believe that. And you and I, in our own way, are both practitioners of that craft. So why not share it?
And there are these things, right, that people teach you along the way that you remember, right? A mentor of mine once told me 3 ways I know a person's going to be successful. Do they have some modicum of talent? You don't have to be the best. Do you work hard? And are you a great person? If you have all 3 of those things, you will be successful at whatever your endeavor is.
Things come back around to you, right? And that's another reason to be a good person. And actually, a firefighter, trust a New York City firefighter to tell you the truth, gave me the greatest assessment of being a freelance photographer. These firefighters are in there, they're crowbars and stuff, moving the stuff around. And I figured, why? I got to get in there and help these guys. And I'm next to him. I'm trying to push on this crate. And he just stiff arms me away from the crate. And he looks at me and goes, Joe, stay away from the crates. He goes, we're firefighters. We got lifetime disability. You throw your back out, what's going to happen to you? You're a freelance photographer. Joe, nobody gives a shit about you. I've always felt that photographs are our footprints. They're the proof that we were actually here. And then speaking of honors, it's returned, bro. I admire you. I admire your steadfast nature, right? I mean, it's hard to go at football, for instance, on a consistent basis and always come up with something different. And you come up with different photographs because you take risk and you accept the possibility that it might not work out, but you still take them anyway. And that is your nature. And that is why you inspire so many. And that's why I'm so proud to be a Nikon ambassador and sit here with you.
Appreciates it.
Back at you.